Hello everyone, and welcome to a special little video that we're doing today. This one goes out to my buddy Lance, who is about to embark on I believe a new journey for him, which is a magic-oriented Oblivion character. I'm not sure all the details of what all he wants to do with that character, but I'm going to kind of give him a quick fun way to get started or set up. I'm actually going to use a character that's currently existing to explain everything. But like I said, this is mainly for my friend Lance. But if maybe somebody else out there is thinking of going back and giving that game a try and wants to do a magic run, hopefully there's some tips in here and some hopefully accurate information. I'm just kind of going off of my knowledge of over the years, things I've looked up or whatever. I'm sure I'm wrong about some of it. If I am, I'm terribly sorry. This is just a hobby for me. If you want to get upset about it, there is a comment section, and I would love to hear about how wrong I was, or you just want to correct me on something, I would love to hear that too. However, let's go ahead and dive in and get started, because I'm not sure how long or how in-depth we're going to go, but we're going to do something. That is what I'm confident we are going to do something. Alright, so we're going to kick off with something that's probably a little boring, but is definitely necessary. Due to Oblivion being kind of a more traditional RPG, things like skills and things like stats kind of do matter and kind of are important to the gameplay as well as any roleplay aspect. For example, in Skyrim, and I'm not dumping on Skyrim, obviously I enjoy Skyrim myself, but in Skyrim I can be a two-handed warrior that has absolutely no wisdom or intelligence of any sort, and I can become the Mage quite easily. The same standard does technically apply to Oblivion, however, I would say you're not going to have as much fun during the process of that quest line, because you're going to feel really cheap when it comes to getting around puzzles and challenges and things like that, because you're gonna, I don't know, don't cheat yourself out of the fun of a video game by being a dumbass about stuff. Anyway, skills are kind of important. Now, I will say that the first thing you're probably gonna think of if you're somebody watching this video, hey, what the heck, I'm supposed to be learning about a mage, and I see athletics, block, blunt, acrobatics in your major skills. Yes, you do. This particular character is the only one I have running right now. He's a Breton battle mage, so he focuses part and parcel combat as well as magic. So one of the reasons that I did not exclusively use magical skills for my major skills is because of something that we need to knock out quickly about Oblivion and its leveling system. So down here you'll see progress to next level. What that indicates is how many times I've leveled up one of these major skills that I selected at the beginning of the game. So, suffice to say, due to the way leveling works in Oblivion, skills like Alteration level up very quickly. Like this character, I believe I took combat actually as my priority, and even with selecting combat as my priority, stuff like my Alteration leveled up quickly because of how often I'm casting the spells that I need, right? Less can be said about Destruction in that regard. I feel like it levels pretty similarly to the way that a weapon does. Not too quick, but not too slow. Oblivion, in my opinion, again, unpopular opinion probably, but Oblivion handles that very well depending on how you as a player design your character. The leveling can either be way too quick for my liking, depending on what I select here as these major skills, or it can go incredibly slow, which will actually be a better thing in a game that is designed like Oblivion, and I'll go into why I feel that way. So for example, let's say that I took Armor as a major skill, right? Because, I use armor quite a bit. I'm a battle mage, and I'm often repairing my enchanted armor and weapons, or whatnot. Well, the reason I don't want to do that is because anybody that's played Oblivion for about 10 minutes is going to know that armor levels up very, 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 very fast. So if I take armor as a major skill, now I'm leveling up every 10 every 5 to 10 minutes, and it's not really giving me a chance to capitalize on something that is, in my opinion, it's important vitally to a fun playthrough of Oblivion. If you're the kind of person that wants to have some challenge but not be constantly spamming crap just to get through combat, then you will actually have to focus on a degree of leveling efficiency in this game. Let me give you an example of how this works, just in case. Again, Lance, I don't know can't remember how familiar you are with this game, but we're going to start with the basics just to ensure we cover it all. So take a skill like Strength, which tells you it affects how much you can carry, blah, 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 all that stuff. But if you look at the bottom, it tells you what skills are governed by that stat. Strength rightfully governs blunt, blade, and hand-to-hand. Stuff like that. Makes sense, okay? So if I have a major skill of blunt or blade, right? Let's say I have blunt and I level up blunt pretty quickly, right? At an early level. I get 6 blunt levels, and then I get 2 levels of endurance governed stat, like armor or heavy armor, blah blah blah. And let's say I just level up major skills, and that's all I level up, and I get all my 10 major skill level ups, and I level up. Well, what's most likely going to happen, if a lot of players are going to do this, especially with mages, this is a pretty common problem I've noticed, is any type of hybrid class, and I would call almost every mage in Oblivion a hybrid class, because you can select all of these magic skills as your major skills if you want to, but you're still going to find that you need a few things from the other skill trees, like for instance, agility here plays a big part in how often you stammer or get knocked down. Well, you might still want some good agility as a mage, because that 1 or 2 times somebody actually, gets close enough and makes contact, maybe you won't stagger and die by the next 2 hits they throw at you, As a mage, you're going to face 2 problems from the beginning. You're going to have a low, let's say you pick, like I did. I picked a Breton because, I like Bretons a lot, and every Elder Scrolls game, I particularly just enjoy, if I'm just playing a playthrough like this guy here, my personal, not Let's Play character, just for fun and enjoying the game and exploring, I like Bretons. They're very well balanced for mages. So Lance, I would encourage you to do one of 2 races, a Breton or a High Elf. You could do a Dark Elf as well, or I'm just saying, if you're going to go human, I'd pick a Breton. For a variety of reasons. Let's see. Okay, I don't remember. I know I'm scatterbrained here, and I probably trailed off. So let's say I'm ready to level up, and I've leveled up a couple of skills that are governed by strength, right? Well, I'll get a +2, +4, +3, or +5. I don't know why I did that out of order, forgive me. But based on how many of those skills that I leveled up were governed by strength. Okay? So if I level up a couple of major skills, most of my major skills all fall under that exact same tree. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot every time I level up. The enemies are going to get stronger, and I'm kind of standing in the same spot, right? And we don't want that to happen, especially with a newer player, because you're going to get, if you're not playing for narrative purposes, like story purposes, then if you're playing for story purposes and you're saying my character's just really strong, he's not that intelligent, and I don't want him to be intelligent, great, that's good on you, and I encourage that kind of stuff. Oblivion's a great game for that. However, if you're casually playing, you just want to pick up the game for a few hours a day and hack at some goblins, it's, in my opinion, I would advise doing some leveling efficiency. So, skills I use often are not always my major skills for that reason, especially on fun characters. Like this character, for instance, is very skilled in stealth now. As I've gotten advanced up in levels, I've used stealth as a way to raise my agility. As you can see, its governing attribute is agility. So I leveled up stealth strategically to get +5 level ups in agility, if that makes any sense. And I did that because if I did not do that, then at level 42, if I still had an agility of 40, then I would be getting ragdolled pretty consistently in every single fight I got into, in any dungeon, any Oblivion gate. Let's say that you're not necessarily intending to do Oblivion gates with your character. I would still do a little bit of leveling efficiency, because each dungeon and every single monster you encounter is going to be based off of your stats. Oblivion is not like Morrowind or Skyrim. There are not specific levels attached to specific places. You are not going to show up to a ruin in Oblivion at level 30 that has level 3 enemies in it that you can just mop the floor with regardless of your stats. Generally, though, combat will get much easier because of you'll pick up and enchant magical equipment, which is also something we're going to get into after we tackle leveling. But you're going to fall back on, essentially, once you break level 30, you're going to need to use tricks up your sleeve to get through dungeons, regardless of how you make your character, right? You were going to get a challenge somewhere, or get, knocked down, right? So, in my opinion, it's best to go in, if you're just having fun, it's best to go in with the best possible arsenal that you can. I just realized, by the way, that I'm moving my mouse all over the screen and probably making a ton of annoying noise, but I'm sorry about that. Whatever. This is just a quick video. Hopefully, I know Lance, you're probably the only one that's ever going to see this anyway, but... So, there are some pretty important stats for your mage. Intelligence, willpower, very, very, very important. However, I would argue that the thing about Oblivion is, every one of these becomes important after level 20. I mean, you don't want to have a weak anything after a certain level, right? So to prevent that, I would design your level ups. Let's go back to where I need to be. I would design your level ups to where you're either leveling up comfortably, where you feel like, I know whenever I go to level this character up, I will get +5s in each category. The reason, and you're drastically going to want to do that, because if you reach level 12 and your character is just been leveling for speed, I'm telling you, you're not going to have as much fun. I mean, yes, you're going to be level 12, you'll get level 12 loot, but you're going to hit your head in the dark many times on your way to the same loot that you could get much better if you just have a little discipline on how you level up. So what I purposefully did was took some skills that take time to level up. For instance, athletics. I love athletics in Oblivion. It's fun. It kind of gives me a reason to explore and take time to explore the world. It's kind of like getting a cookie. Like, hey, look how far you've gone. Look what you've done, right? Athletics levels up notoriously slow, and so it's a great stopper on that quick leveling. Block is another good choice. It does not level up extremely quick unless you choose to just sit there all day blocking against some weak enemy. Weapon skill is okay. I would only take one, but I would recommend taking one even as a mage. I know you're thinking, I'm going to blow them away with spells. Yes and no. I would still have a way to defend yourself. For example, it is going to cause no issue for you. It'll cause very slight, at the minimal deficiency to your character if you just have a shield equipped, for instance. Or, you know what I mean? You're still going to move pretty quick. You'll also notice I don't have any armor skills in my major skills. Another reason for that is when I play mages, I really don't have any guarantee due to enchanting items at the Arcane University that I will even wear this armor anymore. Right now, it's just kind of been a fun for my character because of being a battle mage to have armor, but I might phase out of armor. I don't really want to commit to an armor type and then later go, I really like this piece of light armor, but I can't, I don't use light armor. So I say just throw armor out the window as a major skill, wear whatever the hell you want, and it gives you the best bonus, okay? Until you get comfortable. Like, I'm comfortable enough now with this character where I created some matching ebony armor. There's stronger crap out there, but this is what I like to wear. You'll be the same way around level 30, 35 probably. You'll be strong enough to make those choices, but for the beginning, it's just handy to wear whatever the hell you find that helps you get through that area or whatever. Like I said, armor, I would keep that a minor skill. Let's see if anything else strikes me. Alchemy, incredibly useful. As you can see, I'm level 97 at alchemy. Great, fantastic. It is not a major skill. It levels up way too damn fast. You will be level 13 with a strength of 35, and you will find yourself in a world of pain. Yeah, so that covers a couple of things about leveling that I'd really focus on. So it wouldn't hurt you. So say you didn't really want to have the combat major skills, just as a roleplay perspective, I still wouldn't take, not like conjuration as a major skill. For example, this is one I barely used it with this character. 46 already. You see what I mean? Just not the best idea for a major skill anyway, unless you want to use it to control your level ups. Like, hey, I'm going to make sure I've leveled up 10 skills in the strength tree. I'm going to make sure I leveled up 10 skills in endurance and 10 skills in willpower, right? Because I want to get +5s in strength, willpower, and endurance. Great. Then pick conjuration as a skill you want to master, and then go, okay, well, it's time to level up. I need 5 level ups, so I'm going to get 5 conjuration level ups. That's not a bad way to do it. Let's see. I think that kind of covers the basics of leveling. The basic other stuff I would recommend would be to go ahead from the gate after you leave the Imperial City. If you're not going to just run straight in and start the main quest or whatever, you plan on avoiding that with the character, I would at least recommend starting the Mage's Guild quest line, which will have you gathering recommendations from guild halls all over Cyrodiil, whatever. Yeah, I would go ahead and start that, because that process, even if you're fast traveling like a madman, is going to take you a while to sludge through. And I would go ahead and start that, because it's very important that you get access to the Arcane University, to making your own spells, because you can make your own spells in Oblivion that use a quarter of the magic of a spell that does less, that you can purchase from somebody. So with an advantage like that, it's kind of stupid not to. And plus, even for a roleplay perspective, it kind of adds credibility to your character getting better with magic. He's spending time with mages and going to the Arcane University and learning this and that. I mean, it just makes good sense, right? On every single level. Yeah, other recommendations, like I said, you may be a pure mage, but don't be afraid to utilize whatever you have to in combat to win. Poison potions are going to be really important. I would keep your weak potions of sorcery at an early level. I'd keep those. And for that emergency healing spell you need to cast, or that emergency spell that can save your ass, I would save them for that. Yeah, other things really with a mage challenge-wise, you're going to be having from the get-go, you're going to be dealing with being a little bit slower and less armored. If you don't take alteration here, actually, let's branch into that real quick, and then I think that'll about wrap up this little video. I would highly advise you, Lance, to take alteration. The reason I would is because, for instance, this is a higher level spell, but even if we pick a low level spell of alteration, let me find one, like I'm not stupid here. Gotta find an old one. Okay, so defend. I believe this is like a apprentice level spell. It's a 15% shield, which does not sound that great. I think I bought this almost right out of the gate when I started this character. That 15% shield's still going to do quite a bit, especially in the early game. It is going to give you an armor level higher, typically, than what most people wearing armor with armor skill are going to have, right? So it does not hurt to cast an alteration spell at the beginning of every engagement. As a mage, it will save you because you are squishy in the beginning. And if you think the squishiness will go away later on, it's Oblivion. It'll throw you for a loop. Like, just for example, earlier in a gate, I had 8 different Daedra attacking me at once, right? And it's not a problem at level 40, but it's a nuisance at level 40 even. I still fall back on potions, and I still fall back on equipment to save the day at times, even having ridiculously powerful spells at my disposal. I'll give you some tips on destruction and getting that leveled up at a... I know I've been preaching about fast leveling being a problem, but with destruction, I'm going to give you a tip that is going to really help out at as you're learning to play the game. And Oblivion is, even like, I'm on PC obviously, but even on console, it gets, enemies get to where they move so quickly that it's hard to target them sometimes with a spell without an area of effect. So I would say there are low level area of effect spells like Fireball or that's a flash bolt, not area effect. I'm trying to find a weak one, guys. I'm really sorry. I didn't prepare much for this video. Fireball. No, there's a really weak one I have from a quest. Whatever. Anyway, you can make a weak 5-point damage for 5-foot area or 10-foot area fireball spell. Like when you get to the Arcane University, I would recommend doing that, because hitting somebody with a spell like, let's see, this, that causes a big, huge explosion, is a lot easier than hitting somebody with this, right? So I would recommend that. You can do that at a pretty low level as well. Other things, I would definitely utilize your hotkeys as a mage. I'd recommend having a spell from each school of magic, or that you're going to rely on, set up in your hotkeys. So I have an alteration spell, destruction spell, mysticism spell, right, a soul gem, all this stuff hotkeyed. Utilize those hotkeys. It'll keep you from losing your mind, Lance. It'll keep you from going crazy and feeling like all you're doing is opening up this menu over and over and over again. Yeah. That kind of covers the basics. If there's anything else or any questions that you guys have or want me to address, I can't think. I mean, I know there's a ton of stuff more that I could say, but if you follow proper leveling discipline, like not leveling up too quickly, making sure you get a +5 level up in each category to quickly get your skills up, and if you you're going to want to make sure that you periodically, after 2 or 3 levels, you're going to want to go shopping for spells. I find that another mistake people make is they'll keep a weak spell like this, like Shocking Touch, right? 10 points of damage. They'll keep that all the way, and they'll keep using it all the way up into level 15 or level 20. Like, no. You need to go buy a new one, because it's like throwing a pebble at a tank. You know what I mean? Just save yourself frustration. Yes, I know it's 2 points of magicka. But I can hit him with it 100 times. Who cares? You will get better experience out of using this spell once than you will this one 15 times. Actually, that kind of reminded me. Different elemental magics. If you're gonna, since I know you're gonna use destruction, because I would say if you're not gonna use destruction and you're gonna do a mage playthrough in Oblivion as your first mage, I would say definitely use destruction on your first go around. It's fun. It'll save your butt. But have a spell prepared for each type of encounter. So if you look down to the bottom, I made some different spells for different enemies. I've got this one here that's really good for enemies that are immune to fire and shock. I can hit them with frost damage, or flame, or lightning, right? Another thing that's really super handy that the game's not going to come right out and tell you about is potions, poisons that increase magical effectiveness are very, very powerful in Oblivion. Weapons that cause a weakness to magicka are pretty much universally useful against any type of enemy, unless they 100% resist magic, which you will run into that with some enemies. But for the most part, like what I do, like with my battle mage, is I'll hit him with this weapon I made, Sunder, weakness to magic 100%, right? And then I'll slap him with a combination of that and a spell like this, which is a 100 points of frost damage in 10 feet, with a weakness to frost 100% added to that. So Oblivion's pretty cool about letting you stack different effects. So this spell is going to give them that 100% weakness to frost effect, which I want them to feel as they are getting hit with the spell. And that will stack with a weapon that does 100% weakness to magic. So yeah, that's where we're going to cut it here. Lance, if you have any other questions or you want me to make a follow-up video covering a couple of more advanced things on a Mage playthrough later, let me know. For anybody else out there that isn't Lance that just happened to watch this video for some reason, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something, or maybe it gave you some, at least, idea of what you want to do with your character in Oblivion. However, for now, that's the basics. So enjoy that. Take that and run with it. And then send me an email or a text or a snap or whatever, buddy, and let me know how much fun you're having with it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.